if you're having to buy wax from, online retailers, eBay, or source it through third parties like that, it's just going to be very difficult for you to compete in the market.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cards and Content. We are back. Didn't talk a lot last week. We had our good friend Brett on the show. Got to talk with him, catch up with him and what's going on in his world. If you guys haven't checked that episode out, make sure you guys do so. It was a fun, lengthier conversation, or focus a lot more on the content piece of this podcast. I know a lot of these episodes are going to get into, the cards, and that's what majority of them are going to be, but got to talk with somebody who's doing a lot of content. So really fun conversation with Brett. So make sure you guys check that out. But today we've got a special guest here that'll be joining us in just a brief minute. But I want to start with the usual. The one thing on my mind right now is card shows. It is card shows. And what do I mean by that? Really, the talking point before we get into this interview today is just card shows. It is just that. First things first. I'll start with the one we just ran. At this point, 8 days ago. We ran the Grove City Card Fest for the second time ever back in again 8 days ago, and it was the second time we'd run it. Learned quite a bit from the first time to the second time. As someone that's never really run an actual show before, just been involved with, Brad B Sports, who we had on one of the earlier episodes, who, helps us run shows. We hired him in October as the director of our events, and it's been a learning process. And when we took over that show, just really being able to build this one from the ground up has been, like I said, a learning, I don't know if it would say a learning curve, but we've learned a lot for sure in such a short period of time. I think one of the things that Brad and I have focused on a lot is, always trying to improve. We're real big on criticism, feedback, whatever you want to call it. It's something we both really care a lot about. Ultimately, I want as many people as possible to have as much success as possible at our shows. Younger collectors to have a good time, and dealers to make as much money as possible, and for those walking the show to be able to buy as many cool cards as possible. Obviously, that is the goal, is for everyone to have a good time. I think the first time we ran this, a lot of people had said that it was hot, myself included. It was really, really hot. We were really big on making sure the air conditioning was, working this time. And I think that goes to a bigger point about this with some things are just, out of your control. It's trying to control the controllable. And, that was definitely one of them. Obviously we didn't anticipate for the air conditioning to not really work in the first show. But again, kind of took that feedback, made sure we talked to the school, and we're able to get that, up and working. It worked just fine in the second time. But, some other things in that it's, this is a show that has admission costs associated with it. And sometimes we've had some folks, with points that shouldn't charge admission. We've got some feedback about that not being great. It's a very, very small minority, but some people have made some, points about that. And, it's fun to share with those of you who listen to this pod that we've talked about this in the content around this show when we took it over, that this was also in partnership with the Central Crossing High School Band Boosters, right? So the band is looking to raise money for a new trailer. We were told by the gentleman we took over the show from, John, that the band had never gotten a new trailer. It sits right out front of the high school. You can see it if you go to the show. And they had a goal of $14,000 to raise to buy a new booster or a new band trailer. And we are 2 shows in and have donated money from the show each time. We are now over halfway to that goal. a good bit over halfway to that goal, donated to the school in just 2 quick shows. So it's been really cool to give back to a school in our local community that is 5 minutes from the shop. That's been a lot of fun. But it's good to see some of those admission costs. We donate a portion of the tables, a lot of those things going to give back in our local community, and it's just good to see that we're building something really cool in our local community. I've been big on that for a while, trying to build something cool here in Columbus, Ohio, and put Columbus on the map with their shop now shows as well. But it's cool to be able to give back and help a high school that's literally 3 minutes from our shop. Definitely been a lot of fun to build. Definitely learned a lot. We're gonna run into some things here soon around space, just lack of it. We have 200. It's like 203 tables in this show, and it is jam packed already. So it's gonna be a fun predicament here soon. We're gonna run out of space. It gets pretty good foot traffic in there. We had a lot of people at the show. We were busy. Show goes from like 9 to 3. Early bird starts at 8, but again ends at 3. And I think we did our last deal at the table at a pretty consistent line flow of traffic. I think we did our last deal at the table at 2:53. I mean, a lot of shows we go to kind of die off in the afternoon, especially one-day shows. This show was pretty busy throughout. So good to good to see that there was traffic throughout, especially on a Sunday. The first 2 shows we took over were Sundays, and we've really enjoyed running it on Sundays. We've had pretty good, consistent traffic, especially on a holiday weekend. It was 4th of July weekend. So I think one thing I've learned from this and Fanatics Fest, just, in a short period of time, is the market is hot right now, and it is, it's in a good spot. We feel like we've moved a lot of inventory, bought a lot, but sold a ton. I'm going to be curious to see how the National goes, and it's going to segue into my next point about that show, because, we're 2 weeks away, basically, at this point, under 20 days. And it's like, are people buying so much to have at the National to sell? Or is just the industry in such a healthy spot right now where people just want inventory so bad? Because we have sold a ton in shop, on whatnot, at shows, Fanatics Fest in Grove City. It has just been a really, really amazing, 4 weeks. And now the Super Bowl for sports cards, the National, is 2 weeks away. I mean, we're basically here. So last minute planning and, how do you maximize the time? I'm going to pull up our booth numbers, because I know we've talked about this before, but haven't really I don't know if we confirmed them. We confirmed them the time we did the questions about the National. Just want to reiterate those. We'll be in the Breakers Pavilion, 1357 booth number there, and then on the show floor at 1906. So 2 booths this year, working on some exclusive merch, some games, that'll lead for some prizes. Last year we had a claw machine. It'll be something different this year. And then just working on preparing some amazing selection of inventory for the National. So excited. Hopefully by next week's episode, I'm hoping it's next week's, not the week of the National. I'm hoping we start to get some information around silver packs, some gold packs, some previews of the cards that Topps or Panini or others will be dropping those weeks. Some of those exclusive show things that we've talked about in nauseum, it feels like, on this podcast. So looking forward to those, and honestly ready for it to be here. This is Fanatics Fest was amazing, and I left Fanatics Fest fired up and ready for the next show. And now we sit 2 weeks away from the once a year, 5-day long Super Bowl marathon, nonstop, biggest card show in the world. So excited for that. Again, going to be around there all day, every day. So if you guys are at the National, come by. We'll likely be doing plenty of content, YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook, etc. We'll have giveaways and shows and such on whatnot every single day. We'll be buying at both the corporate booth and on the show floor. It's going to be a lot of fun. Vibes are high, energy is good. Looking forward to being there. And again, I said it earlier, eager to see, does this trend of continuously selling and buying cards, is the market going to maintain that kind of momentum up and through the National? It's been really good for the last month, but what does it look like when the National is here? Is it a sell-off? Is it, that's continuing? Don't know, but I think we're gonna find out very, very very soon. So excited for that. Just a quick touch point here. I realize I'm going to date this here because this will only be good for this episode. But if you have any younger collectors, we are, as we're talking about events and card shows, we have an event coming up here this Friday. We normally run one, maybe two of these a year, but we've got a kids trade night coming up. Really fun way to kind of give back to the next generation of card collectors. You guys watch the channel, listen to the podcast, whatever, you name it. We're really big on the next generation of card collectors. We have to have somebody to pass this on to. So we host a kids-only trade night at our shop. And some people always ask, like, why kids? Like, why just kids? They can come to every trade night. I think the big thing is we saw it on one of the first trade nights we ran where some of the younger collectors aren't as comfortable going up to adults and asking to make trades. So it puts, the younger collector in a more, comfortable situation to make trades, not feel as pressured. Just, again, something about dealing with, the kids dealing with collectors of their same age group. So it'll be for 14 and under. As always, our trade nights are free. So this will be at the shop Friday, July 18th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. We've got some cool giveaways. Our friends at Zion Cases hooked it up as always. Our team will donate some like hobby boxes, merch, etc. We'll have free food and drink. So if you know any younger collectors in the area, in the state, that are looking to go to a cool trade night with, again, all kids their ages, it's 14 and under, and we'll run this Friday. So excited for that. Hopefully next episode I'll have some more information about the trade night at the National. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Bookmark your calendars for that. I'll just give you the data. That will be Thursday. It's normally Thursday. It will continue year number 9 for trade night at the National. Next year's 10 years since it all began. So honored to be able to run this with a legendary human, great friend, Kentucky Basketball Cards, Jimmy and his teams, all of his shops, New York, Texas, California, and Kentucky. Excited to run it with his amazing group of people. So that'll be on Thursday night. PSA is a partner on that one this year. There'll be some cool things planned, so excited to get more into that soon. But I'll start rambling for now. Obviously, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy as we're 2 weeks away from, the granddaddy of them all. But that's it for now. Let me kick it over to a fun interview. This is a lot of fun. This is with our guy Garrett, Neighborhood Card Shop, one of the co-founders of that. It's a card shop out in Lodi, California. If you guys haven't been, this will be a fun one if you're out there. It's a great spot to check out. I know we're excited to get out there, but let's kick it over to Garrett and see what he's been working on and how they built one of the best card shops in the country. All right, what's going on, guys? We are back. We've got another interview today, and we've got a very special guest, a longtime friend in the industry who owns a card store, is a big-time buyer of high-end cards, loves First Off the Line, and is a fantastic human being. So we've got a special guest joining us today, all the way from California. Garrett, my good friend, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on such a podcast. The only thing I'm sad about is I was probably going down the Rolodex. Someone declined today, and yep, we'll select Garrett. Maybe he could fill in today. So, no, I'm just kidding. But no, I appreciate you having me on, and look forward to chatting with you.
Well, if you guys can already tell, Garrett and I have some incredible banter. We've been fortunate enough to know each other for a while, and this is just the dynamic of our relationship. So I think this will be a fun one today. Garrett is he's a character, so I think this will be fun. But on a more serious note, again, honored to have you on here. You and Anthony are building something crazy out in Cali, and it's happened in such a quick time. I remember having conversations when you guys were opening and, watching the rapid growth of, the Neighborhood Card Shop out there. So I'm excited to, learn more about that, selfishly. And I think the listeners will find this one, enjoyable. But let's just start from the very beginning, who you are and how you got to right here.
Sure. It's actually a funny story. When I first got into the hobby, it was kind of just lucky. I was randomly at a dinner with my parents, and I heard this really loud guy. And if you don't know who Greg Lambert is, He owns Teammates Sports Cards, so shout out to Teammates. But Greg's a great guy, but he's really loud. Everyone knows who he is because he's loud, right? And I was having dinner with my parents, and I was like, man, this guy is loud. And my mom looks over and she goes, I think he's married to your cousin. And I'm like, what? And then he randomly came over. We had a conversation. He told me he did sports cards. And I was like, there's money in that? Like, you really like sports cards? Obviously, I collected as a kid Pokemon sports cards like that. But, as you get older, you play sports, you grow up, you sometimes just kind of get out of it. And I was in sales at the time, medical device sales. And I was in his area. He's like, you should swing by the shop and just check it out. And then I opened a few boxes and got hooked again. And I was just ripping like crazy. And he's like, dude, you're doing this all wrong. Like, you're losing a ton of money just opening all these boxes. Like, you should just, learn about it and learn about selling cards, do the whole eBay thing. So from there, I kind of just like learned this process, learned the space, figured out a ton, and fell in love with it. This was probably 2017, late 2017, and then was hooked ever since. And then obviously learned about grading, learned about wax, learned about the whole shebang, right? And COVID happened, and then everything took off. Me and my wife were fortunate to have a kid. During that time, I decided to quit my job and pursue cards full time.
Now,
So,
well, first off, shout out to Greg. He was somebody I
yeah.
didn't really know super well. Like I didn't know really at all until you. Um, but just having some conversations with him, like Tops Conference and others, when like you and I have been around. He's definitely a good dude. So shout out to Teammates. Um, but I want to touch a little bit more on like your story because you say COVID, you had your daughter and you quit your job and doing cards full time, but you didn't own a card store then. So
Mm-mm.
how did we go from quitting job full time, buying and selling cards to then a card store? Like what was that process like and why did you want to ultimately go with the card store route?
Yeah, so during that time, I was just flipping singles like most people in the space and collecting players I liked. And during that time, as you could probably relate, you'd buy something during COVID, and literally by the time it hit your mailbox, let's say it was 5 days later, it was up like 20%. And you're like, this is incredible. This is like unheard of, right? So then you'd flip that and turn it into thing. And grading at the time, I think PSA was like 7, $8, right? It was, and you could open 2018 Prism. I remember it vividly. I opened like a 2018 like retail box, which was like $80 at the time.
Yeah.
You hit like a Luca, a Trey base, you grade it, it comes back, it's like $1,500 for the pair. You're like, what is going on in this world, right? So I just kind of parlayed that, flipped all those singles that I was grading, a lot of base. So sorry anyone that bought base from me during that time. I feel bad. Hopefully you got out of it as well. But yeah, I just realized like the massive opportunity there was in reselling sports cards and kind of just grew that. Eventually got into the wax game from Greg. He kind of showed me that space, got on with a few distributors, started dabbling with that. Really was just doing wholesale and started really focusing my efforts into the wholesale business
Yep.
and built a bunch of great relationships with a lot of the breakers you see online today. I think that's kind of how we met as well, building a
Yep.
relationship with you on that side. So
Yep.
just built a lot of great contacts as far as wholesaling. Who doesn't want, when the market was on fire, people just needed to get their hands on product. And when you're in the wholesale business, it's great, right? Everyone wants to be your friend because they want to buy product from you. They want to. So I was able to build a lot of great connects that way. And that's actually how I met my partner, Anthony, as well. He was reaching out about cards and we kind of just hit it off and we decided to kind of go into the wholesale wax business ourselves and grew it to a pretty big business as far as financials and yeah, built a lot of great relationships. But as time went on, we kind of saw the writing on the wall with Fanatics taking over that there's probably not going to be an opportunity to wholesale. So we decided that opening a shop would be best. It's something we both wanted to do, and kind of that's how we got into where we are today.
Yeah, I think the wholesale piece is interesting because I don't think I really knew anybody outside of like a distributor doing it before you and I had met.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to I think one thing you're really good at, and I think we'll highlight this in today's discussion, is like you guys are really good at finding things in the market where you think there's an opportunity and going all in on those things and doing really really well. I also think one of the things, again, and I want to hit on this, but like talk to me about the value of relationships and what that has meant to your business. I don't know if there's many people in the industry I would give more credit to around the importance of building relationships. I can tell you, and I can tell the audience, uh, Garrett and I have done 50 plus, probably 100 plus transactions together. Like we buy and sell and trade wax all the time, like cars. Like we did a deal at Fanatics Fest. Just there, we've done a ton of business together, and uh, more times than not, you're like, "Yep, get me next time. Get me next time. Yep, I got you. Like we'll take care of you on this." Like you are very, very, very big on the relationship piece, and it's ultimately led you to a lot of success very, very quickly, deservingly so. Tell me about the value of the relationship piece in your guys's business and endeavors.
Sure. Yeah. I think, as you know, I mean, I think it's everything, right? Like, if I want to be here today, I want to be having this interview with you. If it wasn't for the relationships, right? To me, relationships are everything. I think just coming from the sales background with medical, it just really kind of taught me that as well. And honestly, I really love this space and I love interacting with everyone that we deal with, right? And if you could build a solid rapport with everyone and people could count on you, trust you, know that you're going to be able to deliver with whatever you say you're going to, it just really helps solidify your business, the relationship, and really helps grow that overall, right? If people trust you, they could count on you, and you build that solid rapport, they're always going to want to buy from you. They're always going to want to deal with you. Even if they could get a maybe a cheaper deal somewhere else, they'll be like, "Oh, I know I'm going to get it tomorrow, or I know I'm going to get it next day. I don't have to stress about anything. I don't have to worry about getting scammed. I don't have to worry about any of that." So I think relationships in this space is the biggest thing. Just if you have solid relationships with everything, the business will come, in
For
my
sure.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, I would echo that to as much as possible. That is such an important piece, and I think you're one of the leaders in that. Like the relationship thing means so much more to you than it does to like anybody else I know. Like you're just you're authentic, and I think that's always the cool part about dealing with you. It's just it's so easy, and it's just um, you know I enjoy making deals with you guys just because it's fun. Like we've got some banter, but at the end of the day, I never leave feeling like oh, I took advantage of my buddy Garrett, or oh man, he smoked me on this deal. I feel like it's always just so easy.
Yeah, and we never could predict the market. And if it does feel like it is shifted one way, or we might joke about it, like if you smoke me or I smoked you, like that's the best thing about the relationship. You'd be like, "Hey, I know you got kind of cooked here. I'll take care of you on the next one," and I would do the same. So I feel like when you have those relationships with whether it's you or anyone in the industry, I feel like they're gonna want to do business with you more in the future. So that's the most important part for sure.
For sure. Now, you mentioned earlier about wholesale, just getting into the wax game, having the product that breakers need. A lot of the product we see in the today's market that has done really well lately has been first off the line. I know this about you from our 5 plus years as friends, um, but tell me, how did you get into like buying first off the line product and that becoming such a I know at one point it was a bigger part of the business. I obviously don't know what it is now, but I know you guys buy a lot of like first off the line, online exclusive, some of those kind of things. Tell me just the
Sure.
thought process there, how you got into it, and what you believe it to be in today's current card market.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a vital part of the hobby and like the exclusive cards that you could hit that Panini does a great job with first off the line in most of their products, right? So a lot of the time it's desired by not only breakers, it's desired by people that enjoy the hobby, people that collect, people that want to join the breaks and hit these big cards and be first to market. Because with first off the line, these cards, no one knows how to comp them, right? Like
Yep.
it's the first product that comes out. It's coming out before hobby. It's an opportunity to showcase the product.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, right? Most of the time it's a good thing. There are some products that Panini makes that maybe don't do so well, but hopefully they improve it. And it seems like they've done a great job, especially lately. And that could be because of the licensing changing and stuff like that. But they're just loading up the products of FOTL right now. And the market's actually responding really well. And it seems like any FOTL product that you've purchased lately is over what you had purchased for right now. The market's probably up like 10-20% on it. So as far as like a business component, it seems like a safe route. Obviously, when I first got into collecting and buying first off the line, I was wholesaling it, so the margins were a little thinner.
Yep.
And I was wondering why the breakers all want to break it and want it first, and it's a supply and demand thing, right? They usually make a lot less of it than they do of hobby. Certain products, certain SKUs are even really, 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 really tiny compared to hobby, right?
Yep.
So if you look at, we've really got into the WNBA market, like select first off the line. I think they made like 30 cases of that. So it's like so limited that if you get it, it just carries a premium. And especially if you break it, and obviously we really try to support the WNBA community, so we offer it at a fair price. But
Yeah.
like that product has gone nuclear. A lot of products throughout the whole what Panini has is done really well this year.
Can you
But
give
overall, yeah, go ahead.
that's what I was going to ask you is like, can you give any examples of, just to give from some perspective to people on some of the, maybe some of the better products you've purchased in the past, and maybe some of the ones you're like, this one we did not do very great on?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely remember all the ones we've done bad on for sure because those are a lot easier to remember. Like Panini One football FOTL was a nightmare. I think we
2022
lost.
Panini One FOTL, I got
Yeah,
crushed on.
yeah, yeah. That was a very good tax write-off for us because we got absolutely smoked. In terms of that, like that might have been one of my biggest losses to date. There, even like products that I truly believe in and like thought would do well haven't done well. Like surprisingly, 23 select FOTL. Off the top of my head, I remember that one thinking that this is going to be a home run. You have CJ Stroud, you have Anthony, you just have that class, and then you get the XRCs, but just didn't perform to expectations. So a lot of times you could fully believe in it, and as you know, it's very limited. So once you go in with the way that Dutch auction works, it drops each level. So once you buy one level, if it keeps dropping and it hasn't sold out, you feel almost obligated to get your cost average down and continue to buy, right? So some of them that we predict at a certain price and they keep dropping, we continue to buy to cost average, which maybe not the best business decision, but we're all in at that point. So yeah, we've had some big wins and had some big losses, but a majority of the time, just with how big breaking is now, it's like it's usually pretty desirable and you can move it um, pretty easily. So
Eh, Give me a product you think has been the most in demand in a 7 to 14 day period from when you got it to like, I've never seen anything like this. This was, the craze was just insane.
I would say WNBA royalty is probably the biggest like home run if you're able to get your hands on that. Were you able to get your hands on that, Ryan?
No, Brian and I were talking before. I was in a content meeting about it. It was like one something or like right around 2 o'clock, and again, there was no expectations it was going to go down that low. I mean, it started at $30,000, was going to three. I'm like, there's just no way it gets to
Yeah.
$3,000. It'll sell out at like 10, $8 to $10,000 is what we had you and I had kind of talked about. So I was
Yep.
like, I don't want to buy. Two cars. I'm like, if I get an Angel Reese Donruss auto and a Ricky Jackson downtown, I'm like, that's a $7,000 pill to swallow. I'm just like, not for me, not like my market. I'll hold off. And I got out of the meeting, and you guys had said like, hey, did you get any? Like, because it had gotten down that low, and I was like, shoot, no, I missed it. And I think it sold out at right around $4,000.
Yeah, it hit the floor, but it sold out within like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
The
seconds.
floor was 3,000. So if you were able to get at the floor, congratulations. But it was like impossible to get there. The level before I think was like 4,200. So
Yeah, that's what I had heard
or-
most low numbers were at. So just for some perspective, I'll let you share this info because you told me about beforehand. So it got to around 3,000, 4,000. Like, let's say the bottom was around 4,200, like was where we think it really sold out at. What is
yeah.
it currently trading for in your world now?
Yeah, so if you were to like sell that to a breaker or wholesale or anything like that, it's trending around like 13,000 a box. So if you were to get a box, you could be up a significant amount of money. And what's crazy is some of the times you could only buy like one at a time. They allowed you to buy 10 at a time. So imagine,
So if you bought a case at
yeah,
$4,000, $4,200 a box plus tax, you're in it at roughly 4,450. We'll say 4,500 for easy math.
sure, yeah.
$45,000 case that you're telling me today is roughly $130,000 case. That's
Yeah.
a solid come up.
So
That's a year's salary
I
on
was gonna say it's
one
a pretty good
product.
salary for most people in today's world, right? So, yeah, I've never like there was a lot of I think Panini did a great job with the product. Obviously, all of the if you hit a Caitlyn, you're excited. Not saying you want to be as excited if you hit Angel, but obviously everyone's chasing Caitlyn. Her market's on fire. The patches, none of them are game used, but obviously NT, one of the most popular products. Flawless, one of the most popular products. Immaculate, very high end product as well. Just the quality of cards that they put in it. Not saying it justifies the price of the box right now, but I do think like the average collector is like priced out of it, right? And even in breaks, it's I feel bad doing breaks because there's only two cards, so no matter how you break it, a lot of people are gonna miss, and it's gonna be an expensive miss. But if you hit, it's a big come up as well. So it's the hobby we're in today, right?
Yeah.
It's chasing that golden nugget because I mean, I don't know what do you think her flawless or NT logo woman will sell for in today's market?
I mean,
Knowing that,
Her Prism Gold vinyl 101 auto sold on Golden for like 364,000, I think. So I mean, you got to imagine the logo man's got. I mean, those have got to flirt with $1 million. I mean, they just have to. They're gonna be massive cards. I mean, it's gonna be way bigger than the the Gold Prism like 101. I mean, I think our Prism Black, yeah.
yeah,
Brian's got
out of
sales right here.
retail,
NT out of 5 logo patch auto of Caitlin Clark did $68,000. NT patch auto to 5. I mean,
well,
they're north of $500,000.
yeah,
Houses,
yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy to think about, right? And if we actually take a step back, it was a really smart buy at 3 to 4 thousand. If we knew
yeah.
that these cards, but it's a big gamble, right? This is a gambler world we're in now, unfortunately. And it's like, hey, with that mentality, the boxes ran up significantly, right? So anyone that's sitting on those boxes, congratulations, you're doing pretty well in life. I mean, probably on
Yeah,
vacation right now as this interview is going on because
yeah,
it's a paid for vacation
for
too.
sure. Yeah. All right, so you opened the shop. When was your official open date of Neighborhood Card Shop?
It was October, I think, 2023. So we're approaching almost 2 years now.
Almost
Yeah.
2 years in. What have you learned in that process with, going from a wholesale market where you're moving a lot of volume to breakers to now you break, you have a card store, you buy cool cards, really a shift in, what you're doing. What have you learned with the card shop process in, nearly 2 years?
Ah, man, I'm still learning. I don't think you'll ever fully know how to master a card shop. Maybe you could give me some advice, but it's every day is different, right? You never know what's gonna walk in. Some days are super slow, some days are super busy, some days you need 5 times more staff, some days you want to send half the staff home. So it's really crazy, but it's really fun, right? Like the excitement that you get to see when kids walk in and open a pack or look through the value bins to find their favorite players. It just kind of brings you back to your childhood, and it makes you feel good as a person. Like, wow, like we're doing something for the community that's like cool. We're keeping these kids out of trouble, or their parents love bringing them here. Maybe they love bringing them here because we get to watch their kids for free for 30 minutes and they get to scroll through their phone. Who knows? But at the end of the day, like we feel like we're doing something right, which makes me feel good. And I'm sure you feel the same, owning a shop. But as far as like knowing what to do, I still don't know what to do. And I'm still, we're still trying to figure that out every day. But we feel like we're doing things and learning and continuing to grow, which is half the battle. So,
Yeah, I think watching you guys open your card store a little bit later. You opened in 2023. Our newer location opened in 21. We've had a lot of conversations, between you and I. I know our team has. You guys opened a really, really nice high end looking card store, very experience focused. You guys have just done things that you just didn't see in most card stores. I know we have taken a lot of those ideas to heart. I think you guys have done an incredible job, and obviously the success speaks for itself. Every time I feel like I look on there, you're buying some insane cards, or have a packed house, or are hitting big items, and it's just a testament to you guys and like what you've been building in such a short period of time. I mean, under 2 years. I mean, watching the growth on social has been incredible. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would you say that some of your success in there, would you attribute some of your success early on to the variety, the uniqueness, maybe some of the high end, maybe some of the cool cards you have in shop? Because I know this is a big part of this has been a big part of your journey with buying really cool cards. You buy high end cards, you grade a lot of stuff, you move a lot. Talk me through the idea of having that stuff in shop and maybe why you buy so much, just big ticket items.
Sure. Yeah. I think when we first opened, obviously I consulted with the staff, and they've been to a ton of shops, and I've asked their feedback on, should we have this high end showcase? Should we not? And a lot of them told me no, we shouldn't. Like, one, it's a Target. Two, no one's gonna buy this stuff. And the funny thing is, after like the first few months, it was our most popular showcase, and it's what brought in a lot of people, and it's what literally everyone wanted to look at, right? And we moved more cards in that showcase than we did probably the other six showcases we have of cards. And it shocked me because I didn't think people would be buying that stuff as well. But I think it is different because not a lot of shops around my area do carry, a wide variety of, higher end cards, I would say. So
Yep.
I think it kind of showcased that, and people might have seen it online, or word got around that we were carrying higher end cards. So it brought a lot of new people in. So to me, it's kind of what helped drive our shop. That might not be for every shop, but for us, it's kind of what separated us from the other local shops in the area. So,
Now, speaking of, in the area, you have some other content creators in the area. Nature is out there, one of my favorites. Bay Area, I believe, works for you, breaks for you guys now. What has it been like to have like other content creators in there who have done content with you guys and probably poke at you a little bit, but like shown you a couple things on content. When I first met you, like you were not a content type person. Now, if you get on the neighborhood card shop page, like you're on there pretty regularly. What has that process been like having guys like that near near where you are?
yeah, obviously, Nature is a funny dude, and great at everything he does, right? And we're fortunate enough that we've had a good relationship with him for the last few years. So that obviously helped drive just his content. He promoted us, he worked with us. His content alone probably drove a bunch of business to our shop as well. Yeah, I'm definitely not a content person by any means, nor do I like being on the camera, but Anthony's just as bad and doesn't like being on the camera as well. So one of us had to do it, and I said, I'll step up and do it. But I don't mind it. It's still not my favorite thing to do. So shout out to you. I mean, the fact that you're able to be so natural and do it all the time on camera, it's not easy. It takes real talent and a lot of effort, or a good editing crew to do all the mess ups, right? So
Yep.
shout out to your team for editing all your mess ups. I'm sure that we have upon all of these. But yeah, Keen, also a big name in the area.
Yeah.
He does a lot on YouTube as well, so
Tons.
shout out to Keen. He posted us. Yeah, Bap, who's one of our breakers, he's a big influence in the area as well. So we've just got fortunate that people liked our brand and kind of our style, and kind of gravitated towards us as well. And just we're pretty easy guys to get along with. So usually, if it's a good fit, we'll do things together if we can. So
I love it.
But if there's any more content creators or anyone that wants to visit the shop, feel free. I'm happy to have you in. Happy to have a conversation.
We're
Anything
still
you
waiting
want.
for this invite for this trade night out in out in Lodi.
I know we're because we've grown. We're looking for a new spot. So as soon as we get a new spot, we'll fly you out, put you in a nice hotel, wine and dine you, and you could invoice us after, and it'll be all good.
Uh, Here we go. All right. If somebody listening wanted to open a card shop in 2025, knowing what you've learned in the last 20 months, what advice would you give that person?
I think I would bring it back to the relationship aspect of it. And if you don't have solid relationships with distributors, the manufacturers, Tops, Panini, it's going to be really, really, really difficult for you. Just like full transparency. It's if you're having to buy wax from, online retailers, eBay, or source it through third parties like that, it's just going to be very difficult for you to compete in the market, I think. And in today's world, wax isn't cheap, right? Cards aren't cheap, nothing's cheap. So if you're a more expensive option, the word will get around that you're more expensive, hey, like this shop's cheaper, just go there. So one, I would say make sure that you have all your relationships dialed in, that you are able to get a product at affordable price. That the margins aren't great, as you know, on most wax. It's not like people think we're just getting rich over here, right, Ryan? But in reality, it's like we're working off very, very, very thin margins, and it's like we have to feed our family. We have to feed your staff. We have to pay the bills too. So it's like the margins are thin for sure on product, and if you are already paying top dollar for you to be a higher price than other shops, I think it would be difficult for you.
Love it.
Yeah.
You we talked earlier about cool cards, some of the things you guys have bought. I saw a video when we were at Fanatics Fest. I was not there for the deal. I know we talked about it a little bit at Fanatics Fest. But last year at Fanatics Fest in 24, they dropped the Travis Scott Chrome boxes for baseball at the show. You
Yep.
put together the PSA 10 set of this product. I think it was all the base cards. And then you sold it to Michael Rubin and or Travis Scott at Fanatics Fest. What was
Yeah.
putting that set together like? Was that an idea you had intentionally? And what was the transaction like in that moment like at Fanatics Fest?
Yeah, I mean, when it first, I was fortunate enough to get a box because you had to enter the raffle at the first Fanatics Fest, and I was fortunate to get a box. I opened it live at Fanatics Collects booth for content for them. They wanted us to open it as well. I think I hit a Jackson Holiday red, but I think it comes with 8 total cards or 6 total cards. I can't remember exactly,
Yeah.
but don't quote me if I'm wrong. I know it's one of those. And thankfully, I have a lot of friends in the industry like Yosef. I don't know if you know Yosef Breaks and Danny, Greatest City. They're opening a ton of it as well. And they were just like, oh, you can have my base. You can have my base. Or I gave them, like a small amount for the base. And actually, the cards ended up being worth more. So sorry to you guys. I owe you guys dinner next time I see you. But I decided, like, it's only a 50 card set. It's the first ever Fanatics Fest. I said, I think it'd be really cool to build the set, right? And I'm extremist, so I'm like, I want an all PSA 10 form though. And I sent like 38 cards that I was able to gather at Fanatics Fest and gemmed like 35 of them. And then my first one. So I was like, all right, I have to do it now. I'm only like 15 cards away. Like, and then it was one, hard to find the cards. And then after that, PSA wasn't gemming them at all. So it was like really tough to actually put together. And it probably took me 6 months to fully put it together with grading or trying to find a PSA 10 online that I didn't have. And then, yeah, I completed it like I would say 5 months ago. And I decided that one, the set was really cool, but I thought that I thought Michael Rubin deserved it. So I made a video saying, hey, I have, the first ever completed set in PSA 10 form. I think you deserve this. And that video actually, gained a lot of traction. And I had like executives from Tops calling me saying, hey, we needed this set because Michael Rubin was like putting pressure on them. Like, why didn't you guys think of this? Like, go get this set. So then I had some leverage, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was able to kind of negotiate and get a deal done with him. So it was a really cool experience. Obviously, just being able to hang out with Michael Rubin and Travis Scott was really cool. It was quick. It's just crazy to see how popular those guys are, and like they can't even walk with without getting like bombarded by people, right? So to get a deal done was awesome. But yeah, it was just a really cool experience. And you being at Fanatics Fest, you see the atmosphere and
Oh yeah.
how crazy it is. So just imagine being as famous as they are, with thousands. I mean, it's almost like you. When you walk around, you get bombarded too. You're like a celebrity. It's just like maybe a little bit. Travis Scott's a little more popular, but you're pretty comparable.
Dude,
So.
you're exhausting. Dude. What yeah, I mean Fanatics Fest, I know we talked about it there. Shout out to Fanatics for leveling up. I mean, the first one was cool. The second one was insane. Obviously, a big part of the show calendar going forward now will be Fanatics Fest. The Nationals coming up. Any big plans for the neighborhood card shop in Chicago in 2 weeks?
Unfortunately, it's so hard to get a booth these days because it's such a popular event. We'll be there. We're representing. We'll be breaking live. I think we'll be breaking in the PSA booth. We'll be breaking on in the whatnot section as well. Definitely be walking around. Excited to see all of you guys and all of the friends that we have in the industry. But I think it's going to be just as popular and very busy. I mean, I don't. What's your expectation?
Yeah, I mean, the market has been hot for us lately. I mean, we had Grove City Card Fest, last weekend. Insane. That's a 200 table show we run 5 minutes from the shop.
That's awesome.
Our whatnot sales have been crazy lately. Just inventory has been super, super hot. And now you're going to be, the Hall of Fame game is usually the Thursday of the National. So you'll have that. You'll have some momentum. I mean, we're going to, football is going to be on. Like, it's just, it's going to lead to some momentum, I think, going into the second half of the Q4, really, second half of Q3.
Yeah.
Baseball getting to the playoffs, basketball not being too far away. I just think the market's in a really, really good spot now. Fanatics Fest blew our expectations out of the water, and there's been a lot of momentum post Fanatics Fest. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be insane. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. So we'll see. But yeah, I have obviously high expectations for the Super Bowl of trading cards.
Sure. Are you setting up or are y'all have a
Yeah, we
booth?
have a corporate booth again this year. We have double the amount of space. It's like a 20 by 24, 20 by 25 booth, where we'll
Wow.
have like podcasts and merch and like some activations to win some prizes, and we'll be probably buying some cards and hanging out. And then we have a booth on the show floor for the first time ever, where we will be set up in a 10 by 15 selling cards throughout the week. So yeah, it's full full steam ahead, trying to plan, what it's like, logistics and,
Yeah, it's a lot.
how to represent your brand in, such a big way at literally, I mean, it's a Super Bowl for cards. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, last year you had a very nice booth and your line was insane. Literally, I didn't know if you were charging for autographs or, giving away free money. Your line was that long. I was like, holy moly, Ryan is super popular. But shout out to you guys. I mean, I know you guys always do a great job with your booth setup and stuff like that. Is there anything cool you're doing this year, giving away?
We're working
You
on that
can't
now,
reveal
working
it.
on the fine details now. We've obviously got some amazing partners we work with, and we'll have some fun
Yeah.
games. So, yeah, working on those things now. So, but
Is there anything you're looking for that at the national that someone could bring you?
that's a
Or
really good question. We normally do content around that, like, cards, like top 5 cards you want to pick up at the National, and been fortunate enough to, hit some of them over the years. Um, I, Again, the thing on my mind the most always right now is the Disney first year Chrome stuff. I own a couple of those bigger cards.
Nice.
First year supers. I love collecting that stuff with my wife and son, so that'll always be my top priority. Other than that, I'd really have to sit down and think about it. Like, I don't know. I usually use the National as like an opportunity, and I don't know about you, but like I use this as an opportunity to buy cards that I want to keep forever. Like this, like, last year we had the moment buying the Honus Wagner cut auto from a gentleman who had pulled it back in like '02. It was cut autos of like the first class of the MLB Hall of Fame. His daughters weren't
Wow.
interested in cards. He sold it to take them on a trip. It was a very emotional moment. Like we talked a lot off of camera, off camera as well. Some of it was on, but it was really really cool. Like I have that card. I'll keep that card for a long time. And just again, the stories behind it and getting to meet people and names to faces and to be able to acquire Grail cards at that show is it's something I don't take lightly. And as someone that's been to the National every year since 2009, I love this show. It's a blessing to be able to go and to spend
Absolutely.
days there, and it's a lot of fun. But you talk about expectations, what's coming. I've got to ask you, like, you've built something really really cool in such a short period of time. So what's next for the neighborhood card shop?
I think for us, we've outgrown the space, thankfully. Like, super fortunate. Our team, our whole team is amazing when it comes to, staff in shop, to shipping, to sorting, to breaking. It's just like we've really grown, and I'm super thankful for where we are. Like, as a business. And fortunately, we've outgrown the space, so we're looking for an opportunity to probably buy a bigger spot. And with that, obviously, we want to level up. It seems like anyone that opens a new shop is doing such a great job and integrating so many new things. So we're trying to design and find the right spot that makes the most sense. But yeah, the next shop we buy will be obviously thoughtfully planned out and hopefully designed. We designed this ourselves, you know what I mean, pretty much, versus, now we'll probably have like a design team build out the next shop, because it's
Yep.
just there's so many things that we learned along the way, and things you don't know until you get in it, right? That
Yep.
you need. So it's but we're super thankful. And yeah, I think the next step is getting a bigger spot and growing the breaking team and all of that. So
Well, look forward to watching it. Look forward to actually being out there, kicking it with you and
yeah.
Anthony. I think you guys have built something really, really cool. You've done it the right way, and I think it's a blueprint for success in the new age of sports cards. I'm gonna leave you with one last question uh, as we wrap this up. You've learned a lot. You've been in it for a while now. But if you had to start over today, knowing what you know now, what you have learned throughout multiple areas of this industry, what advice would you give yourself?
Uh, Build a solid team that you could rely on. Like, as much as I want to do everything myself, I can't, right? Like,
Yep.
there's not enough time in the day. So, shout out to my partner Anthony. Shout out to our whole team. Like, without all of their help, we wouldn't be where we are today. So, like, if you can't build a team that you could trust and rely on, it's going to be difficult. And I think, like, the foundation of building your team and getting the quality people that you could rely on is going to help you succeed to wherever you need to go. And I'm sure you could attest to that with your team, because you have an awesome team as well. So I'm sure without them, you want to be where you are, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and support system, like, my wife is very supportive. She lets me come to work early. I got here at 6 a.m. today. We have a little one at home. I know you have a little one. Your wife's very supportive. Like, we travel a lot. We work all the time, right? Being a business owner, it's not like we just clock in for 7 hours and then we're done, right? I wish that was the case, but I've definitely realized, like, there's not a lot of time in the day. I don't get back to as many people as I should, right? But
Yep.
it's a juggling act, and without the support system around you, it makes it tough.
I think that's really, really, really good advice. We got similar advice from Costa when we had him on about building a team and like the importance of good people around you, and how that allows you to grow quickly when you have people that you can trust. But the support system is also another big piece of this. I would not be, you know, anywhere near where I'm at today if it wasn't for my best friend, my wife. Reg is an amazing, amazing partner, and again, like you said, it's a juggling act. Trying to be dad while they're young, and trying to build a really cool business and something you can be proud of, and understanding
Yep.
that like you'll only be young once, and like you only might get one shot at this. It's a lot. So definitely comes with some pressure, but man, it's a lot of fun. And like you said, when you build it with like people that are really good humans and people you like, it makes it all that more fun in the end.
Absolutely. And I would say trust your gut is another one, whether that's cards, wax. If you believe in something, guess what? Just trust your gut. Like, and if it doesn't work out, at least you trusted your gut and didn't listen to someone else that may be giving you advice.
For sure. For sure. Now, if people want to find you or the shop, like where can people find you guys?
Yeah, so we're pretty much on Instagram as under Neighborhood Card Shop. We're on Whatnot, Neighborhood Card Shop. We're on Fanatics Live under Neighborhood Card Shop. So any of those, we're building on our website now, but as far as online presence, it's mostly on IG under Neighborhood Card Shop.
And where exactly is the shop?
So we're in Lodi, California. It's a small knockoff version of Napa, California. If you like some wine, you could visit us and go drink some wine with your significant other and explore Lodi, California. So yeah.
Looking forward to that one day. Hopefully
Yes.
here soon.
Yeah,
But
man. We got to have you out for sure. Once we open the new shop, we'll bring you and the wife out. So
well, I
and the kid.
appreciate that. Appreciate the gesture. Appreciate you coming on here. Make sure you
Yeah.
invoice us for this time here. When you do deals with Michael Rubin and Travis Scott, I'm sure these hours are not cheap, but we just know we definitely appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Ryan, and I hope you have a good day, man, and keep doing
Appreciate
what
you.
you're doing. You're doing a good job, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
It's
my
always
friend.
good chat with you.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right, shout out to our good friend Garrett for coming on the pod. Him and his partner Anthony are building something really, really cool out there in Cali. So if you guys have not already, make sure you guys check them out. Definitely good people. But we've got some latest launch. We've got some products dropping this week, and I'm going to start with definitely my favorite product. You got Elite Football. I think this is one of my favorite value products all year. You've got the numbered, you've got the rookies. Usually starting to get those pro jersey rookies. That's supposed to drop this week. So looking forward to that. I saw a lot of guys sign in Panini in Score. On top of the NIL products that they had with Jeremiah Smith, Rayola, Arch Manning, Julian Sayin, some big name guys there. The Russell kid from Alabama, who I believe was the number one kid in the prospect, was in that. Or number one kid in America was a prospect auto in that. So Score looked really good, but I saw a lot of 25 rookies sign. Matthew Golden, Tet McMillan, Cam Scatterbo, Hunter, Shadur, Genty. A lot of guys in there had signed. So obviously it looks like Dart and Cam Ward appear to be top spaced. But the fact that so many guys have autos in 2025 product, it appears to be a solid class early on. We'll see what that looks like come, like March, April, because that's when Panini should lose a license to Topps. So not sure how that's going to play out, but either way, right now, I'm excited for 25 Elite Football right before the National. Then you've got Donruss Racing, Topps Chrome Basketball Sapphire, that should be fun. Credentials Hockey 24-25, Goodwin Champions, normally a hodgepodge of stuff, but a really fun, unique product. I don't think there's much on the market like Goodwin Champions. You can pull LeBron's exquisite autos and Abraham Lincoln like hair cards and all sorts of different things. It's like the craziest group of products out there. It's got all sorts of different things. It's got young gun rookies for like baseball, basketball, football, like other things outside of like hockey. It's a really cool product. I think Upper Deck does a great job on. A high-end product from Leaf, their biggest, I think it's their biggest product, Leaf Pearl Multi-Sport, normally like a 10 card, like a flawless baseball type product, like 10 cards, 2K, 3K price. A lot of fun there. We got some new Pokemon coming out this week as well. Scarlet and Violet Black Bolt Booster Bundle and White Flare Booster Bundle. Okay, so some more Pokemon. And then Topps Chrome Marvel Sapphire. Marvel has been hot since it released. Now you're going to add a Sapphire product. I'm assuming that'll do well. So 2 weeks before the National, we've got a really good mix of some solid product coming out, some big-time product 2 weeks before the National. So that is what I got for now. A fun episode. Again, just getting excited for the National. So let me know what questions we might be able to answer about the National before next week's episode or before the show itself. Maybe run some extra content on social or get an extra bonus pod in or mention it on next week's episode if we can answer any more questions or just highlight anything else about the National. So hopefully we'll see you guys at the National. Shout out to everybody for listening. And if you made it this far, you're the real MVP. But for now, that is all I got. Peace, guys.